Music school. Is it worth it? The answer is, it depends. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Adele. I'm a film and TV composer, and I write music for other things too. And today I wanted to talk about music school. Is going to music school actually worth it? Now I want to make a quick disclaimer. There are certain areas of the industry that you have to have a degree for. If you want to be a music therapist, a teacher, or work in higher education, you have to have that piece of paper on your wall, you know? But for other areas of the industry, such as a composer, sound engineer, performer, it's a little bit more nuanced. So I just wanted to propose some pros and cons using my own experience and observations.
No more sitting on the fence. Robin, get me my legal pad. It's pros and cons time!
My personal takeaway, let that decision be up to you, basically. Let's talk pros. I think the biggest help of going to music school is just networking, whether it's meeting professors, mentors, other students, artistic collaborators. These people are going to be around you for 4 years, and if you meet the right people, you can be working with them for your entire career. And I personally had a mentor who gave me really great performance opportunities and was looking out for me in that sort of way, which you might not be able to get when you're not at school. Another pro is that you have access to resources that you might not have access to. For instance, scholarly resources and things in the music library that might not be available to non-university students, that type of a thing. But also just having experts in their fields just be a block away from you. You know, you walk on a campus and if you have a question about something, you can find someone who has the answers. So, for example, I wrote a piece that I wanted African singers for, but I didn't know any African singers in the Phoenix area where I was. And so I was able to connect with a professor who specializes in world music and had a network of people who could help me. Another big pro is that you're able to fill in the gaps to your traditional education. So for instance, when I got to college, I had only a very rudimentary understanding of music theory. I could read music and play violin, and that was basically it. So by going to school, I was able to take these classes to fill in those gaps and make me a better performer and a better composer. Now, I will say that there are tons of resources online for learning music theory and things like that. I personally am not very good with online learning, which is why I preferred to go in person. But if online learning works for you, check it out. You know, there's tons of free resources and videos on YouTube as well. Another pro, just in general, is that college lets you figure out yourself. You know, I always said that college was kind of like a bubble that allowed you to make mistakes and fail and succeed and figure out what you liked and what you didn't like and who you liked and who you didn't like. It was done in a safe space so that you had no, career repercussions by whatever you chose to do in school. And I will say, 18-year-old me was not ready for a career yet. After college, I feel a lot more ready. And that was just because I had the time to experiment and grow and figure out who I am as a person. And I think that's a really excellent opportunity for anyone, no matter what you're studying, you know. And I'm trying to think if there are any pros. Let's talk about the cons because, there are cons to music school. The biggest one is that a lot of traditional classical institutions don't have the resources or the capacity to support people who want to go into the entertainment business, or work in pop or work in film scoring. In my case, I went to Arizona State University and it was very classical. It was great for people who wanted to, perform in a symphony orchestra, but they didn't have the resources to help me become better as a film composer specifically. I had the drive to go out of class, meet people on my own, work on my own, and build my portfolio, which ended up being fine for me, but I know for certain learners, you need that support in the classroom. So if you're thinking about going to music school, really research the different degrees that they have. Will you feel supported in this? Now, I will mention that a lot of schools, especially on the coasts, have great programs for, pop, jazz, film scoring, the entertainment business in general. Those ones are obviously the most famous ones. I'm thinking of Berklee College of Music, but I will say that those ones tend to be a lot more expensive. So sometimes you have to make compromises, but if you're willing to do the work outside of class in addition to your normal schoolwork, go for it. Another con to music school is that college can really affect your mental health, Whether you're studying music or not, being in such a pressured environment to create, to write, to churn out homework. Sometimes the homework assignments are really stupid and you don't see any use for them. That can lead to, anxiety or having any mental health issues feel heightened. And I actually struggled with anxiety, especially at the beginning of college. It's definitely a really fast-paced environment compared to high school, at least. And I know for some people, it just wasn't for them. I have friends who took breaks, left music school, or left college altogether, and I think any choice you make is totally valid. Your number one priority should be taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental health, making sure that you feel safe and comfortable. And you really have to think, is going to college going to make me feel safe and comfortable right now? There's a difference between feeling challenged academically and it's great for your growth and feeling challenged in a way that harms you mentally. And as a result, your art is harmed too. Right? When I'm feeling shitty, I can't even create. It's hard. I will point out college is always going to be there. You can take a break and you can come back whenever you want, if you want to come back. That's totally your choice, and everything that you decide for yourself is valid. I know that especially in American culture, it's expected you go to a 4-year university and you finish in 4 years and all of that. But the reality is everyone is different, Don't feel ashamed because someone finishes college faster than you, or they go to college and you don't. I always say everyone's on different paths, and sometimes you don't even know how that person is feeling. They could have finished college in 4 years and absolutely hated it, right? Another con is music school is extremely time consuming. So if your career is already jump-starting, you have built your audience, you're getting those streams, you are getting those gigs, you're touring, whatever it is you do, you might not want to take that time out of your touring schedule or out of your career building time to go to school. I have a few friends who did that, and they're, vibing in their careers right now, and that's a totally valid path as well. Music is really weird because even though you are young and you may or may not be in school, it's important to remember you are a professional. You are a musician. You're not an aspiring musician or whatever, and sometimes your break can come very early. College is always going to be there, so go tour, go explore, go travel, go do what you want to do. And if you want to go back to school, great. It's always going to be there for you. And you'll have really cool experiences regardless of what you choose, right? I will say that especially classic institutions are extremely white and extremely male. In my instance, when I was in my school's composition program, I was the only woman in the room. And for me, it made me feel quite alone, quite anxious and unsupported. And it's a harsh reality of kind of how the higher education musical institution is. I really think, if you want to go to music school, do your research. Find someone who goes there and ask them, do you feel safe? Do you feel supported? Do you see a lot of diversity or do you not? And that can help you make your decision. do what you need to do to feel safe. So I've given you a list of pros and cons, mostly from my own experience, but hopefully they resonate with you. My personal takeaway is that I'm glad I went to school. It gave me that time to figure out what I like and what I don't like, gave me time to build my portfolio so I could hit the ground running as soon as I graduated. I have friends who didn't like college, who didn't do all of those things and are totally thriving in their careers and having a great time. So there's two sides to it. There's two sides to the coin. And I'd say trust your gut. Do what you need to do. Don't do what other people tell you to do. Don't do what you think society is telling you to do. Being a musician is an awesome, amazing thing. And creating a career in music is very difficult, but so much fun and very fulfilling for a creative spirit. So you have to decide, is school going to fuel your creative spirit and help your career, or is it not? And that's totally up to you. Thank you so much for watching this video, you guys. If you have any other questions about my personal experience or maybe certain things about being a young, up-and-coming professional fresh out of college, feel free to leave me a comment or follow me on Instagram and shoot me a DM. Whatever you need. I really want to be a great resource for people, especially my own age, because I feel like there's a lot of older composers or just musicians in general who seem to have their whole life figured out. And it's like, no, we're all on this journey together. So let's join up. Let's have this journey together and be a help for each other. I hope you guys have a great day, a great week, and that your families are safe and healthy. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Drop it. Drop it.